Aaliyah pushed open the bakery door like she was entering a place she had no right to be in. Her fingers tightened around 8 crumpled dollars, the exact amount she'd saved all week. She walked up to the counter slowly, her shoes still damp from the cold morning. And the moment the white cashier, Ashley, looked at her, the entire room changed. "You're kidding," Ashley muttered under her breath, loud enough for everyone to hear. "What do you want with that?" She pointed at the money like it was dirt. Aaliyah swallowed. I just need a small cake. My mom's birthday is today." A couple of customers glanced over. Not to help, just to watch. Ashley scoffed. "With $8? Sweetheart, this isn't a gas station. We sell real cakes here." Aaliyah's voice trembled. "Please, anything small. Even the one without frosting." I just wanted to smile." Ashley leaned forward with a smirk. "Oh, you want your mommy to smile? Then maybe try earning some real money instead of walking in here like..." She didn't finish, but every person in the bakery understood exactly what she meant. Aaliyah's cheeks burned. Her hand tightened around the bills, so hard they crinkled into a ball. Ashley turned away, grabbed a hot cup of coffee, and spun back too fast. The cup tipped. The steaming liquid splashed across Aaliyah's arm and dress. Aaliyah gasped. Her breath hitched. She clutched her arm to her chest, trying not to cry. Ashley didn't apologize, didn't even blink. "See what happens when you people don't listen?" Her voice sliced through the bakery. Aaliyah froze. The room stayed silent. Not one adult stepped in. She whispered, "I just want a cake." Ashley pointed to the door. "Out! Now, before I call someone to remove you." Aaliyah blinked fast, trying to hold her tears. She turned toward the exit, her wet dress sticking to her skin, her hope collapsing, and then the bell above the door chimed. A tall white man in a dark overcoat stepped inside. Handsome, tired eyes, expensive posture. The kind of man everyone instinctively moved aside for. He looked at Aaliyah, really looked, at her soaked dress, her shaking hands, her humiliation. Something tightened in his expression. He stepped closer. If this already made your blood boil, tap like, and subscribe so you don't miss stories where justice finally wins. The man crouched down slowly until he was eye level with Aaliyah. His voice was calm, but carried a weight that made the entire bakery fall silent. "Who did this to you?" Aaliyah's lips trembled. She hid her burned arm behind her dress. Her voice cracked into a whisper. I just wanted a cake for my mom." Ashley stiffened. Customers turned, pretending they hadn't just watched everything. The man's gaze shifted to Ashley. Not loud, not angry, just disappointed. The kind that hurts more than shouting. Ashley instantly put on her fake customer service smile. "Sir," she caused a little spill. "I was just cleaning up." Aaliyah shook her head softly. "It wasn't me." The man stood, straightened his coat, and walked to the display case. He pointed to the nicest chocolate cake, the one with soft frosting roses. "I'll take that one." Ashley brightened. "Of course, sir, that one is..." He raised a hand, stopping her mid-sentence. "And add $8 worth of cookies." Ashley blinked. $8? He looked back at Aaliyah. "That's her part of the cake." Aaliyah's eyes widened. "No, I didn't mean for..." He knelt again, gentle but firm. "You were trying to make your mom's birthday special. That's something worth respecting." Ashley boxed the cake with shaking hands. This time not from age, but from shame. When she brought the box forward, she still couldn't meet the man's eyes. Aaliyah held out her wrinkled bills, hands trembling. "Please, take it. I worked for it." He accepted the money with quiet respect. "Thank you, Aaliyah." She blinked. "H, how did you know my name?" He pointed to her school lanyard, half hidden under her burned dress. "You're Aaliyah and I'm Cole." He stood up, balancing the cake box carefully. "Is your mom waiting for you at home?" Aaliyah nodded. "She thinks I went to the library. I wanted to surprise her." Cole looked at her for a long moment. The bakery noise vanished behind them. Only two people existed in that moment. A girl fighting to hold her dignity, and a man who looked like he'd forgotten his own. "If this happened in front of you, what would you do?" Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you stand for fairness, hit subscribe. Cole held the cake box in both hands as they stepped outside. The cold air hit Aaliyah's damp dress, making her shiver. He noticed instantly. Are you okay? Aaliyah nodded, even though her arm still stung from the burn. I'm fine. I just don't want the cake to fall. They walked together down the sidewalk, the world quieter than usual. Cars passed slowly. A streetlight flickered. Aaliyah kept glancing at the cake, like it was something sacred. Cole broke the silence. Your mom, she must be special. Aaliyah's eyes softened. She works all day, sometimes all night, but she still reads to me when she's tired. She never forgets my birthday. So I wanted to make hers good, even if it's small. Cole listened like every word mattered. What would she say, he asked gently, if she saw what happened back there? Aaliyah shrugged, hugging her arm. She'd say it's okay. She always says we shouldn't make trouble. That people don't like people like us making noise. Cole stopped walking for a moment. He looked at her, really looked. Aaliyah, wanting respect, isn't making noise. She tried to smile, but her voice cracked. I just didn't want her birthday to be ruined. They continued walking. The neighborhood changed gradually. From busy stores to quiet, older streets with cracked sidewalks and chipped paint on fences. Cole kept pace with her, neither leading nor falling behind. After a moment, Aaliyah asked softly, Why were you sad today? Cole froze. She wasn't mocking him. She wasn't prying. She just saw him. He exhaled slowly. It's complicated. Birthdays used to mean something. Then life got busy. People left. And I guess I forgot how to celebrate anything. Aaliyah kicked a pebble along the path. Maybe you just need better people, she said. Or people who don't leave. The simplicity hit him harder than anything. They turned toward a narrow street, lined with old apartment buildings. Aaliyah pointed. That's our place. 3rd floor. The one with the squeaky mailbox. Cole nodded. Do you want to walk you up? Aaliyah hesitated, then nodded. Mom doesn't like surprises. But you can come to the door. She'll want to know who I'm with. She held the cake like it was glass. Cole followed her up the stairs, each step echoing between a girl who wanted her mom to smile and a man who hadn't smiled for himself in years. Aaliyah paused at the 3rd floor landing, steadying the cake box before knocking. Her fingers tapped the door lightly. It opened just an inch, and her mom, Imani, peeked out with tired eyes and a hair tie barely holding her curls in place. The moment she saw Aaliyah's soaked dress, her face changed. Baby, what happened? Aaliyah tried to smile. It's okay, Mom. I got the cake. Imani slowly opened the door wider, but her eyes shifted fast to Cole, a well-dressed white man standing on her landing with a bakery box in hand. Her voice tightened. Who is he? Aaliyah stepped forward quickly. Mom, this is Cole. He helped me. Ashley, the lady at the bakery. She spilled coffee on me, and Imani's stare sharpened instantly. Coffee? She burned you? Aaliyah nodded, hiding her arm. Cole stepped forward slightly, but kept his hands visible, his voice low and respectful. Ms. Imani, I'm sorry for what happened to your daughter. I was there. I saw everything. She wasn't treated right. Imani folded her arms, still guarding her daughter. And who exactly are you? A customer, Cole replied. Someone who couldn't just watch that happen. Imani's eyes scanned his expensive coat, polished shoes, neatly styled hair. Men like him didn't come to buildings like this, not for people like them. How did you help my daughter? She asked quietly. Cole held out the cake box. She had $8. She saved it for you. I just helped her finish the cake. Aaliyah whispered, Mom, please, it's the cake you like, the chocolate one. For the first time, Imani's guarded expression cracked. Her eyes softened. She looked at the neat pink flowers piped on top of the frosting. She ran her thumb over the edge of the box. She really wanted to surprise you, Cole said. A long silence lingered. Finally, Imani stepped aside just enough for them to walk in. You can come in for a minute, she said cautiously. No promises. Just the minute. Cole nodded with gratitude. Inside, the apartment was small but warm, mismatched chairs, a thrift store couch, and a tiny birthday banner Aaliyah had colored herself. Imani placed the cake gently on the table. Aaliyah watched her mom's face anxiously. Imani inhaled deeply and a fragile smile formed. "Thank you, baby," she whispered to her daughter. Then quieter to Cole, "Thank you for not walking away." Cole's expression softened. No one should walk away from someone trying this hard. For a brief moment, a tired mother, a hopeful daughter, and a lonely man shared the same quiet breath. Aaliyah held both their hands, connecting two worlds that never should have met, but somehow needed each other. Sunday afternoon light slipped gently through the blinds as Cole knocked on the door of apartment 3C again. No cake this time. No big gesture. Just a small bag of tools in one hand and a pack of dollar store stickers for Aaliyah in the other. Aaliyah swung the door open instantly. "You came back." Cole smiled softly. "I said I would, birthday cake partner." She grabbed his wrist and pulled him inside with all the excitement of a kid who rarely got visitors. "Mom, he's here." Imani emerged from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. Her expression was calmer than yesterday, still cautious but warmer. "You didn't have to bring anything," she said. Cole shook his head. "I noticed your closet door hinge squeaks, and the window draft in Aaliyah's room. If it's okay, I can fix them." Imani hesitated, then nodded. "It's okay." As Cole worked, Aaliyah sat cross-legged on the bed, telling him every story she'd ever wanted someone to hear. How her mom worked doubles. How she wanted to be a nurse. How she sometimes pretended their tiny apartment was a castle. Cole tightened the last screw and tested the window. It shut smoothly, no rattle, no draft. Aaliyah clapped. "You fixed it. You're like window magic." Cole laughed, the sound warmer than anything he'd made in years. Back in the living room, Imani poured him a glass of lemonade. "You don't have to do all this," she said quietly. "I know," he answered, "but I wanted to." For a moment, something gentle passed between them. Two adults who'd spent long stretches of life alone, now sharing a rare silence that didn't feel empty. Then came the knock. A white envelope slid under the door. Imani picked it up, frowning. It was from the community college. She opened it slowly. Her breath stopped. A full scholarship, tuition, books, childcare support. Everything she'd given up when life became too heavy. Her eyes lifted instantly to Cole. "You did this." Cole's face tightened in surprise. "No, I didn't put my name on anything. I just knew someone who..." Imani's voice hardened. "So you think I'm a charity case?" Aaliyah froze in the hallway. Cole stepped closer, gentle, not defensive. "Imani, it was meant to help, not to insult you. But the wound was open now. I don't want my daughter thinking the only way we move forward is if some rich man fixes our life." Cole's voice softened with hurt. "I never wanted that." Imani looked away, blinking fast. "Maybe you should go." Aaliyah whispered, "Mom," but it was too late. Cole stepped back toward the door, the warm connection between them cooling into something uncertain, something fragile, something broken. He left quietly, carrying tools in his hand and a misunderstanding in his chest. The next evening arrived with sky bruised purple, clouds heavy like they were carrying every emotion left unspoken between them. Aaliyah sat on the couch, coloring quietly. Imani folded laundry in the dim light, her movements sharp, restless, and neither of them said what they were really thinking. Aaliyah finally whispered, "Mom, why does he care so much?" Imani paused, staring at the shirt in her hands. The question hit her harder than she expected. She sat down beside her daughter, voice barely above a breath. "I don't know, baby. Maybe I just don't trust good things when they come too fast." Aaliyah looked at her with those soft, honest eyes. "Because he's lonely like us." Imani froze. The truth sat there, small and simple, spoken by a child who saw things adults try to hide. If you believe talent can silence every insult, share this video. And everyone watching from the US, UK, and Canada, your voice matters. A sudden gust of wind rattled the window, then another, then the lights flickered and died, leaving the apartment in darkness. Aaliyah gasped, "Mom, the storm." Imani grabbed a flashlight. "It's okay. Stay close." But the wind roared like a living thing, rain smashing against the glass. The old building groaned under the pressure, and for the first time in a long time, Imani felt afraid. A knock slammed against the door. Thunder rolled. Aaliyah clutched her mom's sleeve. Imani opened the door cautiously, and there he was, standing in the rain, soaked, wind whipping his coat. "Cole." His voice was tense but gentle. "The power's out on the whole block. I just wanted to make sure you two were okay." Imani stared, stunned. He hadn't come with tools, not with gifts, not with money, just concern. "We're managing," she said softly, though the shaking window said otherwise. Cole stepped back slightly. "I don't want to cross a line, but if anything happens, I'm right downstairs." A fierce gust shook the building. Aaliyah squealed, running to the doorway. "Mom, the window in my room is banging." Imani rushed inside with the flashlight. Cole hesitated only a second, then followed. Together, they pushed against the rattling frame. Cole braced it with his shoulder, while Imani tightened the latch. Rain sprayed her arm. The wind cut through the room, but they held it together until the storm eased for a breath. Imani stepped back, panting. "Thank you," she whispered. Cole met her eyes, tired, soaked, but sincere. "I didn't come to fix your life," he said quietly. "I just didn't want you facing the dark alone." For the first time since the misunderstanding, her guard wavered. Aaliyah wrapped her arms around both of them, relief shaking her voice. "Please don't leave." Cole looked at Imani, waiting for permission, and this time she didn't push him away. Sunday morning came with a calm the neighborhood hadn't felt in days. The storm had passed. Sunlight slipped through the windows like a quiet apology. Inside apartment 3C, Aaliyah stood on her toes, adjusting a paper crown over her mom's hair. "Hold still, Mama. It's your birthday part 2. Imani laughed softly, shaking her head. "Baby, one celebration was enough." Aaliyah grinned. Not when yesterday got scary. On the small table sat leftover pizza, a bowl of fruit, and 2 slices of the chocolate cake. The same cake Aaliyah had fought so hard to buy. And next to it, a knock sounded on the door. Aaliyah's face lit up instantly. He came. Imani opened the door, and Cole stood there, no fancy suit, no expensive coat, just jeans, a simple sweater, and a humble smile. He held a small container. "I brought the mint chip ice cream you mentioned last time," he said. Aaliyah snatched it from him like treasure. "Yes, you remembered." Imani stepped aside to let him in. This time, without hesitation. The apartment felt warmer with him there. Not because of heat, but because the silence didn't feel heavy anymore. They sat around the tiny table. Aaliyah proudly sliced the cake, giving everyone equal portions. Cole took a bite and raised his eyebrows. "This is the best birthday cake I've ever had," he said. Aaliyah giggled. "You say that about everything I make you eat." Imani shook her head. "Don't encourage her. She'll start a bakery in here." Cole smiled, then turned to Imani. "About the scholarship, I never wanted you to feel small. I just wanted you to have choices again." Imani placed her fork down. Her voice softened. "I know. I reacted out of fear, not truth." She inhaled slowly. "You weren't trying to fix us. You were trying to stand with us." Cole exhaled, relieved. "That's all I ever wanted." Aaliyah leaned her head against her mom's arm. "Can he stay for a little longer?" she asked. Imani looked at Cole, a man who arrived in a storm, held their window together with his shoulder, and stood beside them when no one else did. She nodded. "He can stay." They moved to the couch. Aaliyah pulled out crayons, doodling crowns and stars while humming. Imani and Cole sat close, not touching, not rushing, just sharing space that finally felt safe. For the first time in years, Aaliyah had 2 adults beside her. For the first time in years, Imani felt seen by someone who didn't want anything in return. And for the first time in years, Cole felt like he wasn't celebrating life alone. As sunlight warmed the room, Aaliyah placed 2 paper crowns onto their heads. "Now we're all royalty," she whispered. Imani smiled. Cole smiled. And in that small living room, 3 quiet hearts finally found a place to rest.